I remember in my early career when I was a SOC analyst walking into a security operations center, and I saw these pretty cool looking dashboards on these massive TV screens. I then asked myself, how could I create something like that? It wasn't until I became a SOC engineer that I started to really focus on how to create those dashboards. Because I quickly found out that leadership absolutely loves looking at pretty dashboards. I mean, why present data in its raw format when you can present it in a nice pie chart? There is something I want to point out here, and that is that dashboards can be pretty fun to create and be quite helpful for you and your team, but it can also be pretty useless. Now, this obviously depends on what you create, and yes, I am looking at you, Pew Pew Maps. At the end of the day, I would highly recommend that you do create dashboards to help you see the important data at a glance and mix in just a bit of eye candy for leadership. At the end of this video, you will learn how to create your own dashboards in Wazuh. If this is your first time seeing my video, hello, my name is Steven, and I have been in the cybersecurity industry for over 8 years now, focusing within the security operations domain. On this channel, you'll find various videos about career guidance, lab walkthroughs, and SOC-related projects that you can tackle and put onto your portfolio. So if you are an aspiring SOC analyst, you are in the right place. I am going to assume that you do have Wazuh already installed if you do plan on following along. If you aren't sure how to install Wazuh, I will leave a link down below for documentation along with a video on how you can get started. With that being said, let's get right into it. For this demo, I'll be using Wazuh version 4.10.1, which is the latest release as of recording. To get started, you want to head over to the top left corner and select the hamburger icon. From here, you want to click on Explore and then select Dashboards. If you have a new instance like I do, you can generate sample data by clicking on Install some sample data. And here we're presented with 3 different sample data that we can add into our Wazuh instance. The first one is the sample security information, sample malware detection, and sample threat detection and response. What I'll do is just add all 3. That way we can get a lot of telemetry into our Wazuh instance. After a couple minutes, your Wazuh instance should have some sample data. If you look and see installed, just like this, you should be good to go. Now let's head back over to the hamburger icon and click on dashboards again. From here, I'm going to click on create new dashboard. And now we can begin adding our visualizations. Do keep in mind that a dashboard is simply a group of visualizations. For this particular demo, I will be creating a dashboard that contains 3 different visualizations. The first one is going to be a pie chart. The second is a metric. And the third is going to be a table. If you're interested in how to create a heat map or a region chart, I would recommend you check out the 30-day MyDFIR SOC Analyst challenge where I walk you through on how to do just that and much more. I'll leave a playlist down below just in case you're interested. With that being said, let's start off with the pie chart. And I can do this by clicking on Create New and selecting Pie. And here we can select the source to retrieve our data. So I'll select the alerts source. Now I do want to pause here and I want you to imagine that your manager wanted you to create a pie chart displaying the top 10 alerts that fired within the last 12 hours. How do we do that? Well, on the right hand side, we can modify our pie chart, and if we wanted to get super specific, we could also input a query in the search bar before we begin modifying our options. But for now, we should be fine with a blank search. Under metrics, we have an option as to how we want our data to be aggregated. We do see it as count, sum, top hit, and unique count. I won't go over all of these options, but if you want additional information on what these mean, there is a help guide on the right where you can learn more, which is right here. For our particular use case, again, it's where our manager wanted us to create a pie chart displaying the top 10 alerts that fired within the past 12 hours. Using the count aggregation should be good enough. The next thing we have is what is called a custom label, and we can change this if we wanted to, but leaving it as blank is okay. This custom label essentially changes the count name. So I can change this to, let's say, numbers instead, and hit update, and the count will change from numbers. Or you could have just said alerts. but I'll just change it back to count. The next thing here are buckets, and buckets is where we can begin splitting our visualization with the data that we have. If we click on the add button, we can split it by slice or chart. I'll select slice because we want our data to show as a slice within our single pie chart. Now, if I were to select split by chart, it would then create multiple pie charts rather than individual slices, if that makes sense. If we click on the split slices, we can then begin selecting our aggregation. We have the option of date histogram, range, filters, histogram, IPv4, range significant terms, and terms. For this particular one, I am going to select terms. Now, again, you might have some questions as to what these particular aggregations do, and there is a documentation which I'll leave down below as well. When it comes to the field, this is where we can start selecting where our alert rule is located in. If you're not entirely sure as to what field that is, we could actually go and find that out. To do this, you want to head over to your hamburger icon. Under Explorer, you want to click on Discover, and I am going to open this up in a new tab. Under Discover, you do want to make sure that you are selecting the Wazuh-alerts- source or index pattern, because this index is where your alerts are being stored. And let's go ahead and just expand the first one from the top. Now, yours is going to be different than mine, but the field names should be the same. We want to pay close attention to the available field names that we currently have for this particular event. The first one is @sample_data. Then we have an underscore index. There's an agent name, agent IP, and essentially we want to find one that will contain our alert name. And scrolling down, we are getting a little bit closer here. We do have our rule level. There's a rule ID, and the ID is 972. We have the rule description. So the file blank is a positive match. And we do have a YARA rule here. Now we can choose this as our aggregation, but I am worried that if we select this one, we are going to be missing other potential alerts that don't utilize YARA. For example, authentication events. If we do get a successful authentication or a brute force alert, it is likely that YARA is not going to be used. So this particular field name, I'm going to just not use it, and instead I will use something like a rule description, because this is more generic in my opinion. So let's keep that in mind. Heading back over to our visualization here, under the field name, I am going to search up rule.description, and that is the one that I want. So I'll go ahead and select that. And by default, it is going to show us only 5 events. Go ahead and hit update. And now we can see the top 5 alerts. If we highlight the first one here, we get the file is a positive match, which is what we saw for that YARA rule. If we highlight the slice, we can see that it triggered 439 times. The second one here is host-based anomaly detection event, 400 times that it triggered, 272, 215, and 211. Now let's recall our use case here where the manager wanted the top 10 alerts. So what we need to do here is, remember, by default, it only lists 5 alerts or 5 events. So to change this, I'll just say 10 and hit update. Now we have the top 10 alerts. The last thing to do here is change it so it's within the last 12 hours. But we can do that in our dashboard. So let's hold off on that for now. For the custom label here, I'll just type in alerts and hit update. And now when I highlight the slice, notice the field says alerts. And this is essentially our first dashboard, our pie chart. Now let's go ahead and quickly save this out by clicking on save at the top right corner. And I am going to save this as top 10 alerts. Make sure that the add to dashboard is checked. And you can go ahead and type in a description if you like, but for this demo, I'll just leave it as blank. Click on save and return. And here is our first visualization. But I did want to give you an example of the split by chart. So let me go back into edit visualization and recall that for the buckets, we are currently splitting it by slices. And if I were to add split chart and I'll select terms, let's do the same rule.description and 5 is okay. Now I will need to remove the slices. So I'll go ahead and click on the X button and update. Notice how there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pie charts. And this is not what we want. So that is the difference between the slice and the chart. I am not going to save this, so I'll just click on the hamburger icon and go back over to my dashboard. Confirm. Now we can create our second visualization, which is called a metric chart. To do that, I'll click on Create New, and we want to select Metric. Let's click on our source of Wazuh alerts. Now, let's imagine that your manager wanted you to create a visualization showing the total number of alerts within the past 12 hours. A metric visualization is perfect for this scenario because it will show us a number, just like this one, 8,180. Similar to what we did for the pie chart over on the metrics, I am going to keep it as count, but I will change the custom label, and I'm going to change this to alerts. Go ahead and hit update. And now we can see that this is 8,173 alerts. Now you might be wondering, is that really the number? Well, do note that this is in the last 24 hours. And one way to find out is if you head back over to the Discover tab, scroll all the way up here, last 24 hours, click on refresh, and it's now at 8,165. But essentially, yes, there are 8,165 events. There is definitely some duplicate alerts, but nonetheless, you have 8,000 plus hits. And if I were to refresh this, I should get the same number. Well, close enough. Go ahead and save this out. For the title, this is going to be Total Alerts. And again, make sure the Add to Dashboard is checked. So that's pretty cool. Now we have two visualizations, the top 10 alerts and the total alerts. The last visualization that we will create together is going to be a data table. This is good if we want to show a bit more information. For example, let's imagine that our manager wants us to create a visualization showing all of the files that VirusTotal had detected. And we can do this by creating a data table. Let's click on Create New, and we'll select Data Table. And again, select our Wazuh alerts. And now we can start creating our data table. By default, it is showing all the events, which is what we can see over here. We don't really want that, right? We only want events that are showing files that VirusTotal had detected. So how do we do that? If we go over to our Discover tab and perform a blanket search for VirusTotal, in other words, surround the keyword VirusTotal with asterisks, we could then see there is 431 hits. Again, your results are going to be different. But if we expand the first event from the top, scroll down here, we can see if there's any interesting fields that we want in that particular data table. And if there is, let's keep a note of it. Taking a look at the fields here, I did find one that is quite interesting where it's data.virustotal.found with a value of 1. This indicates that a file was seen within VirusTotal's database. This is important to know because we'll be using this as a filter when we start building our visualization. Let me go ahead and open up a notepad here and I can put in my field name of interest. That way I can keep a note of it. We probably want the agent IP address so we know which host detected this particular file. Type in agent.ip. Perhaps we want the permalink as well. That way our analyst can just click on a link to see the results. Type in data.virustotal.permalink. The source file is going to be an interesting one. So I'll go ahead and add that in, source.file. And let's just do one more here. The timestamp. For sure, you want to put in the timestamp. And I think we should be okay. You know what? Let's put in the hash as well. Data.virustotal.source.sha1. Beautiful. Now that we have our field names of interest, we can now create our visualization. Going back over to my data table, I am going to modify the query. Because our objective is to find files that VirusTotal had detected, I'm going to use the field name of data.virustotal.found where it equals 1. This will show me all of the files that VirusTotal had detected. In fact, let's actually fact check that. I'm going to go back over to Discover and I am going to click on the permalink. This opens up VirusTotal and we get 64 vendors flagging this as malicious. And it is an eCar file. Okay. And an eCar file, by the way, is just a test file. As you can see here, it says eCar is a test string used to detect and test antivirus software. So it does make sense that there is a high score here. Now, if I were to create a filter where virus total found is 0 and search up the SHA-1, we shouldn't see it. Yeah, no matches found. Perfect. So going back over to my data table, we do have our query of virus total found is 1. Under the metrics, I'll just leave that as is. But for buckets, let's go ahead and split it by rows. And again, I will select terms. And for the field, I am going to select the one that we chose over at the Discover tab. So it's going to be agent IP, virus total permalink, source file, and SHA-1, along with the timestamp. I'm not going to include the virus total found because we are querying for that. There's no point, in my opinion, to put that into the table itself. Select the virus total permalink. The default is 5. That's okay for now. Click on update. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And let's rinse and repeat to add the other rows. To do that, just simply hit add, split by row, and select the aggregation, select terms. And for the field, we'll do timestamp. Click on update. And let's do that for the rest. And there you go. We have our virus total permalink, timestamp, source file, SHA-1 hash, and the agent IP along with the count. To change their position, all we need to do here is just go ahead and minimize the split rows. I'll just do that for all of them. And now you can move the field to wherever you want by simply dragging it to the top. For me, I like seeing timestamp at the left, and then maybe the IP address, the source file, and yeah, the permalink and source file hash should be okay. I'll hit update, and now our columns are nicely placed to where I want it to be. Go ahead and save that out, and I'll name this as virus total hits. Click on save and return. And now we've satisfied our manager's request by creating a dashboard containing the top 10 alerts, total alerts, and the files that exist within virus total. The only thing that is missing now is the last 12 hours. And to do that, we simply need to change our date range and type in 12 hours ago and click on update. Now we can be even more specific where it's 12 hours from midnight or 12 hours from midday. But for the sake of this demo, I am just going to leave it as last 12 hours. Last thing to do, click on save, and let's save our dashboard. Let's call this MyDFIR-Wazuh-dashboard and store time with dashboard. And that is how you create a dashboard. I hope by following along, you did learn something new and are eager to try this out in your own home lab or even organization. Creating dashboards can be quite enjoyable as they do allow you to unleash your creativity while leveraging the data sources that you have to design a dashboard that suits your needs. Now, I would highly encourage you to spend some time and really think about what kind of dashboards that you can create to help you and your organization. Perhaps you can create a dashboard showing successful authentications from countries that you do not do business in. For example, maybe authentications coming from China or even Russia. Maybe even applications being executed from temporary directories. Lastly, if you are ever stuck and require additional information on troubleshooting, Wazuh does have documentation that you can reference, and they also have an awesome community where people are willing to help. I'll leave both the documentation and where you can join the community for further assistance down below. This video was sponsored by Wazuh, and a huge thank you to them for their support. And that is it for the video. I do hope that you found that informative. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe if you want to. Remember to stay curious and do things differently.